So this is an introductory video to glazing and the supplies you'll need. I'm going to use two glaze in this video. I'm going to practice with a sample student piece. It's like a paintbrush holder or makeup brush holder. It's not a cup to drink out of, but it'll work. You also want some clean water, a clean damp sponge. You need that handy. And, a brush or two with soft sable hair. That type of hair is going to hold the glaze really well. You're not going to want to use a brush like this. This type of brush with the stiff bristles is better designed for clay water, and slip. It's not going to hold glaze well like the soft brown-haired brushes will. Those are called sable brushes. That's the type of hair. And the stiff bristles are actually hog hair, fake hog hair, synthetic. So those brushes will work. I'll be using them in future videos here. Now when it comes to glaze, they can come in a tall pint size, or they can come in a smaller 4-ounce size. Both of these are considered low fire glaze, and there's high fire glaze, which gives you different chemical reactions, different results. But low fire glazes are typically very bright and cheery. There's also some dull neutral colors as well available. And I'm going to work with red at some point in the next few videos, but I want to show you what red looks like initially when you first paint it on. It's kind of a dark pink, like a rose color, or it can also be like a salmon color. But that glaze is going to fire cherry red, high gloss cherry red. This is tree green, and this starts off a little bit lighter in the container, but it will fire like a dark, literally tree green. Now white does something unique. This one's called downright white, and it actually is baby blue in the container when you first paint it on. So that can be quite confusing where you're painting on what looks to be baby blue, but in the kiln it does a complete 180 and comes out bright white, high gloss bright white. So never be fooled by what you see in the glaze container. You might want to pay attention to glaze code numbers and look that up either on online. You can type that in online and get a preview of how the glaze is going to fire, or you can look at different brochures like catalogs. Now this is a speckle glaze. Both of these are speckle glazes. One is called Sassy Orange. The other one is called Blue Azure. They have funny like nail polish names. Sassy Orange is a yellow background when it fires, and that's already kind of happening in liquid form. But the important thing to know about these speckle glazes is that living inside the glaze are crystals, little rocks. Sometimes they're colored, sometimes they're not, but you'll see them and kind of feel them on the hair of your paintbrush. So here's a close-up shot of those crystals. So those crystals are going to like kind of burst in the kiln, like on the piece, on the project, and leave a chemical trail behind that produces spots. So the more crystals your paintbrush hair picks up, and the more crystals living on your artwork, the more spots you're going to get in that particular speckle glaze. Okay, so the speckle glazes are really fun, and Blue Azure is a popular one that I have, and you always want to shake up the glazes first. Initially, make sure the lid is on real tight, then shake up the glaze so there's no spill. Now, Blue Azure, it's going to fire like an ocean blue, but you can see it starts off gray, and the crystals living in it are teeny tiny, very small to see, but those will like kind of fire as like blobs, and you'll see a sample of that in a slide. So Blue Azure is a very popular glaze in my classes every year, and again, it fires like an ocean color. Now, some ceramic artists work directly out of the glaze containers, and this year I'll be using these little salsa cups that's COVID friendly. So glazes, there's a lot to learn.